is this? Let me start with you, Kwame.
Well, the agency is a body that has been put together by government to regulate all the creative arts sectors, from music to dance to drama to fashion, comedy. All these subfields of the arts come together, come under the agency. Okay. And so it is to regulate its activities, if you like. And for the past 3 years or so, when the Act was passed, is it 3 or 2 years ago? 2 years ago, when the Act, the Creative Industry Act was passed to actually give assent to this institution. It's been in place, but not fully functional yet. Okay. Yes. So last month, 14th April, they decided to put together a committee, which is why we're here today, which is the Creative Arts Education Committee, to make sure that they collaborate with the Ministry of Education to make teaching and learning of arts across our schools more attractive and effective. And so the committee has been put together, and people are asking how important art education is, as in the Creative Art Agency embarking on this particular course. How is it relevant to the industry? And then how are they even trying to make this whole art industry more effective, if you like, attractive? And that is why we are here today to talk about.
Okay. Now, where I sit, I almost feel as though if arts is an integral part of all education across board, from nursery school, whether you're learning, so nursery school right through to tertiary, whether you're learning engineering, medicine, or whatever, if arts is incorporated within the fabric of the education that you're having, I feel that it will make a massive difference to even the way we look at life. From where you sit as president of Concerned Arts Professionals, is this a step in the right direction?
Okay, so having a committee to really look into get to the business schools to learn is in the right direction, but starting on the wrong foot. Okay. Simply because, first off, the agency, as we speak, just as Kwame said, is not functional. Okay. We don't have executive secretary. We don't even have a board. So for the start for executives, or probably an acting CEO to come up with a board or a committee, to look into the education is a non-starter. It's very illegal, and we need to establish that. Okay. Notwithstanding, and moving the argument forward, I think that yes, we need certain things to be done for us to have basic schools to learn. But it's to interest you to know that we started this thing long ago, since 2004 and beyond, when we had a cultural policy in place. Okay. Then John Ejekufu's era. When you read the cultural policy that we have, even though we have not reviewed it as it stands, there's a whole page from chapter 11 going that deals with creative art in school. I see. The curriculum that needs to have creative art within the space. Yeah. So we haven't done that yet since Kufuor's time and up until now. Wow. We haven't done that, and for me, it is one of the biggest things the biggest damage we've ever done to the industry, or probably within the setup. So for me, it is something we need to go back to basics to deal with it. Now, my challenge here is this: why are we trying to attack the training colleges to start learning creative art? We already have creative art in the system. Anybody who goes to training college is a master of all subjects.
Yes, because you do have to learn.
Yes, but he's not experienced in any of them. Okay. So I would have preferred that they rather choose it, or will push for creative art to become a subject. Okay. Now, when it becomes a subject like maths, science, agric, English, then we know we have a step. We have done something major within the space.
Okay.
But if we want to still continue to talk about it and make it look more as an extracurricular activity within the school.
But is that what it is really? Because
That is what it
these days
is now.
I'm hearing conversations about moving from STEM to STEAM.
To STEAM.
Where the idea is now we're adding arts to the STEM conversation.
Good.
So I'm hearing all of this. So I feel, but I'm an outsider.
Okay.
So, but I feel as if we're actually making some progress.
We're only making progress with that. But moving the argument again, then we need to now look for people who will teach those subjects.
Okay.
And that is another thing that
so the training colleges actually need to be.
But that is not where we need to even tackle the issue from. And I was surprised that we're still tackling the training colleges. Why? Go to Creative School of Arts at University of Education, Winneba.
Okay.
Go to Cape Coast. People come out as teachers.
Of
Graduates of creative art, theater arts, drama, music, and all. They are teachers. Ask yourself where they find themselves after school. They find themselves either in the banks, and even the National Commission on Culture does not even consume these people. So you ask yourself, somebody who has done PhD, somebody who has done degree, masters in theater and everything, where does that person go?
Okay.
So yes, you want to move into your business and do the STEM and all that, but for me, I think it is not the training colleges we need to tackle. I think we should move above them and look for these people who are being trained from the University of Winneba, the dance and all those people, I mean, to come into the fold and do a proper curriculum for these subjects. Because then you need, if you want to move it like that, then you need people to establish, like the way you've done your maths, your English, the studying, the learning processes and everything. So these people have to sit and structure it for us.
Okay.
Because again, remember, I mean, President's State of the Nation address told us that 70% of our creative school has been completed or is completed or whatever it is. But you ask yourself, which people are going to go there to go and learn or probably to teach? When you even have Ghana Education Service, there's a whole unit that deals with culture.
Okay.
Check right now. There's a whole unit that deals with culture in this country. But who is enforcing them to really push for these things to happen?
Kwaku, this is very interesting because I taught for almost 11 years. I taught as a subject teacher first at the JHS, also in the primary school. And so I know what this really means. Now, when you are teaching as a classroom teacher, you teach every subject. Every subject. Because when you go to training college, you are taken through almost all the core subjects.
Jack of all trades.
So you do maths, science, English, and everything, creative arts, other things. But the challenge is that, creative art sometimes is very technical, when it comes to the performing art, especially music and all that. I happen to have done music when I was in my second year. So I could read the notes and teach. So when it was time for culture, I was able to organize the pupils, teach them choral music. And so that was my advantage. But there were other teachers in other classes who didn't have that expertise or that knowledge background because they didn't do that. Even if they did the creative art, it was just a general course that they did. They didn't specialize in any of those courses. And so the challenge has been the teachers who are versed in the performing art especially and the fine arts. So when you go to the various schools, you will see they have the creative arts subject in the basic school, primary, but who to teach the subject is the problem. All right, because the teacher can say, okay, it's time for creative arts, put the topic on the board, maybe give them notes, copy and chew and pour. They can't even read simple notes. That is one problem. Then it comes to the teaching and learning materials. When you go to the Montessori schools, the international schools, you realize that they have the materials to teach the subjects. But go to the public schools, they don't have them. So it is always about teaching them in abstract. All right, you mentioned the STEM and the STEAM and all that. Our focus has been on the STEM for so much that we don't really think about the arts. All right, our approach to solving issues creatively We don't do that. And so from the basic level, the teacher or the pupil who is in school does not have that opportunity to study, especially performing arts, fine arts. For the literary arts, because we study them from the scratch, the reading subjects, it's easy for most of the teachers to deliver.
Yeah.
But my problem when I was in the classroom was the music, was the drama and all that. There were times that I had to move around so many schools to help people to teach them because they don't have the resource people to teach.
Okay.
So back to where Kojo left off. The problem actually is from the junior college. The reason I'm saying this is that we don't have a lot of people from the training colleges who
coming into the education.
who get into that field. They want to be in the sciences, okay, so that he will teach maths, science, and all that. And look at how we perceive the creative arts, Kweku. From the beginning, from our homes, from schools, in the media, we see people who do arts courses as less intelligent. That kind of marginalization is there. And so anybody who sets out to go, let's even UG, University of Ghana, go to performing arts, they say ontology, they give them all sort of names to tease them and all that. Funny names.
It's almost like the society mocks
exactly
people who are artistic in the education sector.
Yes.
No, we celebrate them when we want to chill and relax.
But
when we come to
and
it's not a serious thing. So why are we taking it seriously?
And even intellectually, they think that if you are an arts person, you are less intelligent than somebody who does any other thing. And so even in our space as journalists, those of us who do arts reporting, entertainment, people see us as not that intelligent, because most times as people who are in this space, because our job is to also cover entertainment stuff, we try to make light of issues. And so when you do that, they think, this guy will be serious, he's not deep. And when you try to go deep, they say you are boring. And so it has been a challenge for people in the creative space, and that is what actually reflects.
But I find it interesting,
situation.
Though, Kojo, I find it interesting though that our society generally sees people who are witty, funny, verbose, ability to play with words, very dexterous with words and all of that. They see them as unintelligent, but it takes a higher level of intelligence
to do that,
to be off the cuff and to be witty than to chew and pour. Chewing and pouring doesn't take a high level of intelligence.
No,
it's repetition.
The
society know how.
It's not a fault. I think it started with the attitude and the mind of the white man who came to us to really tell us that white collar jobs are like that. So kids were like, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be this and all that. Even in school, I mean, trust me, we mock at people who are doing vocational skills. We mock at people who did visual arts. I mean, we thought that was a less people, so they do collage and all those things, and we thought that it is one of the things that you don't even want to be there. I mean, you want to do your science, your biology, your hard maths.
If you don't get a good grade, they push you to the
exactly.
To the arts,
you understand?
humanities.
I mean, it was there. Exactly. When you a whole headmaster looks at your grade and he thinks that the way he own to me science, you're finding visual arts. That was how they did. But little did we know that even people who did visual arts and home econs and all that, today, see them. They have their own jobs, entrepreneurs. There are people working. They work for themselves. They don't wake up at 5 a.m., 4:30 like you and I to come and sit and say, we want to do this and all that. So I think it is something that has been with us for a long time. I mean, when you're even playing football, they will beat you and tell you that even look at your brother. Your brother is reading his book and you are there playing football and all that. You everything you want to go and play, play. Today,
as if play is a bad thing.
Exactly. You understand? So we have not engaged the system very well with creative arts.
Okay, so I have a question.
Okay.
Usually there's this argument that which came first, the hen or the chicken?
Chicken.
Sorry, the
Chicken
chicken or
and
the
situation.
egg? The chicken or the egg? Which one came first? Now we can't solve that problem on this show.
Yes.
But as a way of comparison, how do we begin to fix the challenge that we have within the society? Because you see, we can't look at the education system as separate from the society, because there are members of the society that are involved in the education system. You know, so I mean, I like a lot of what the education minister is getting involved in, everything else, but it's a systemic problem, you know. But how do we begin to actually make strides? I mean, yes, the committee has been set up. What's the mandate? Like you said, we need executives. We need to be able to see that there's a structure that, you know, will then start to run things. I don't know. I'm asking questions.
I think before we even go on, I would love that we watch that video.
Okay.
What happened at the committee, the
Yes.
launch of the committee.
Okay.
Because we have a lot to say about
that one.
video.
Okay,
So
fantastic.
it takes us
Let's
to the
take a
next
look
level.
at a little bit of what happened at the committee meeting.
Mission myself, and to see where the holes were and where the gaps were and where the obstacles were within our industry. And we're searching. I'm much more of a solutions orientated person, so we're searching for solutions rather than what the problems were. And Panji and I's also commonality has always been in education, and he's also shared with me the initiative that he had started and that was interested in implementing more creative classes, art, music, drama within our schools, primary schools, secondary schools, understanding that instilling in an early age is a crucial point. With any Olympic athlete, you're always told that it's something that you start with in infancy to be able to really garnish and gather that passion. So I hope that he's feeling somewhat encouraged that we are sitting here, albeit as the timing.
Oh, God's time is the best.
That's what I like to hear. So we're here in that stead, and we're here to start with the glass half full, if it were. You know, to move forward and our first tackle that we think that we're going to tackle is within teacher training. We feel that there has to be, we have to compartmentalize this problem or this initiative and then take it apart bit by bit. Within talking within the Ministry of Education, Frank and I, stemming from just getting here, we have found that we don't have our practitioners who are actually trained within the industry itself, that they are separate teachers, but not actually creative arts teachers. So we felt that how are we going to tackle the actual issue? Is it the chicken and the egg? Do we try to find more placements within schools and say, fine, at 4 every day there will be art class, there will be instrumental class, or so forth and so forth, but who's going to teach it? And who will it be taught effectively? So with the Ministry of Education, he has felt that we need to tackle teacher training first, but also stemming first with our industry players. We can't take this feat on our own, and don't want to be honest with you. We shouldn't have to. It's something that we need all minds on. So we're here this morning to start the maiden voyage and to see where this will take us. I'm a person as well that likes to act and work very quickly. I'm hoping that we can have some sort of proposed bill by the end of the year to be implemented. That's even quite far ahead to me, to be honest. I would like something a lot sooner, but I understand, as Panji put it earlier, in God's time. But unfortunately, it's not on my clock. But so let's tackle this boldly, with the envision in mind of the future artists that we are to bear, and that have the want and the need, but don't have the support to be able to see their creativity come to life, and to be able to feel that they are actually, there's actually education to support them in what they want to do in their endeavours. So Frank will be the main point of this on these meetings. We will also be having, where's our Ministry of Education? They have Zoom. Okay, that's on Zoom, sorry. So we'll also be having a person within the Ministry of Education, will be the point person within here as well. And let's action things quickly. So thank you again all for coming. And I also really thank you and really encourage that you also see the issue that we have and want to be the part of the solution. Thank you.
All right. So the agency had I think it's an inaugural meeting.
Yes.
The inaugural
yes,
meeting,
inaugural
and then
meeting.
these are snippets from that. All right. So what challenge do you have with it?
Okay, I like the idea that the creative agency thinks that we need to improve on how effective or attractive the arts are in our various schools. I like that. And I like the fact that they want to collaborate with the Ministry of Education to do this. But could you mention something earlier? You know, there are processes, there are procedures, and we need to follow all these. You know, the acts, the Creative Industry Act actually stipulates that before you go ahead to do anything in the agency, there must be a board. Now, there is no board at the agency as we speak. And so even by forming this committee, it contravenes the act. You can't put together a committee without a board.
Okay.
And that is the challenge out there, meaning that if we don't let them streamline things, we may be doing things anyhow at the agency. But to me, the whole idea, I like the idea because of where I have been, what I've seen as far as arts education is concerned. But doing the things the right way is what I'm concerned about.
Okay. Well, I mean, I do understand your concerns. I also feel that sometimes maybe we are jumping the gun a little bit. The committee is probably maybe one of the things that they're going to do is to actually have a conversation about setting up a board. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just speculating. But you said you got a message when we were off.
Yeah, so I'll read that before I come
please
to issues that was raised by Jankroma. Now, there's a message that was sent. It says,
where's the person watching us from?
Nandom.
Nandom, wow.
It says, greetings, sir. My name is Wunya Ortiz, and I teach creative arts in Nandom.
Okay.
I'm currently watching you on City TV, and would love to join your foundation. And then he goes on to say, I had to stand on my grounds and go against my director of education, for she wanted me to continue teaching English. I seem to be the only person teaching creative arts in the Nandom Municipal.
Wow.
And I'm sure other districts may not be teaching it at all. I love the conversation and would like to keep in touch with you.
Wow. I think
so like Kwame said, even was it Eastern region?
Yeah.
He alone, he needs to then move.
Not the whole region, in our circuit.
Okay.
At least, but it is
But you were
huge.
moving around.
You were moving around.
Yeah, during cultural festivals,
Exactly.
a school that don't have teachers who could teach music, I'll be going around to help them.
So it comes back to the same thing I was saying, that we go to the training colleges, we become jack of all trades, master of none. So he has done training college, but he is not allowed to be doing what he's supposed to do and not even getting the things that he needs to, the teaching logistics and to help him to do it. That is why I still have a challenge when Jankroma said that she had a discussion with the minister and the minister failed. And I seriously don't even like the word failed. He felt that we should start with the training colleges. It's a non-starter for me to even start with the training colleges, like I said.
But why though? Because again, the question about is it the chicken that came before the egg or the egg that came before the chicken is a perennial question that we can't fully answer. But I think that to hit the society and create disruption that will allow people to start seeing artists as valuable as engineers, maybe we have to hit it from all sides.
Yeah, so the
It can't just be from one side.
Exactly. So the more I even added up to say that we should then go beyond the training colleges and visit the universities, the people who are doing serious creative arts. Mastering in creative art, theater arts, and doing their PhDs.
Degree level.
They are the people who are doing teaching. Lessons there, so they can come down, draw the curriculum for us. It then doesn't become an extracurricular.
I see what you mean.
Yes, it becomes a full-time thing for us to run. So then you don't need the training colleges to be doing that for us. We need above them, the ones who are studying creative art.
So
pure
let's
creative art.
create the curriculum.
Exactly.
Let's establish it as
Exactly.
a standard part of the school, and then make sure that training colleges are producing
Exactly my
people
point.
who will feed into the system.
it, because you are feeding us with people who go to training college to learn English, to learn maths, to learn Greek. Who is going there to learn creative art as a whole subject
on its
and
own,
come
yeah.
back and say,
Come and
this
teach
is
it.
what I am doing.
Yeah.
We don't have it
Yeah.
within the space. And then touch on what Kwame also said. I
Yeah.
think that in as much as we're moving the arguments, I mean, getting these things, I mean, talk about it and all, I think that we should do the right things. You were asking, your initial thing that you said was that what's the importance of the Creative Arts Agency and all that. I think it's one of the major pillars that we have within the space. And if the right things are not done, I mean, we will have problems.
Yeah.
We've gone extra mile to get a 1048 act to be done. It is not an easy thing to go to parliament, to go
and
through
get
the
that,
mail
yeah.
and get an act.
So we need a
Therefore,
board,
we
we
need
need
to
a-
respect
we
the
follow.
act.
Okay.
Exactly, we need to follow it.
All right.
We don't allow certain things to be done. I mean, she's spoken, but then one want to ask, in what capacity is she doing what she's doing?
Okay.
We don't have anything called acting CEO. We don't have anything called, I mean, an acting executive secretary. We need to appoint per Article 195 of the Constitution. It allows the president to appoint an
actually-
executive secretary
yes.
for us to go through and get a board chairman, and the board chairman will have to then appoint board committees,
Okay.
and not the executive secretary.
Okay.
You understand? So we need to do the right
All of
things. We
those
need to
things. Okay.
position ourselves right.
Let's wrap
Then
up
we
the
can move
conversation.
on.
Yeah.
Kwame, final thoughts.
I think that we should approach arts more seriously. You know, I think we've played and toyed with arts for a long time.
For too long.
you know,
I agree with you.
From the bottom to the top. And so it's about time we all change our perceptions about the arts and knew that the arts could also fetch us a lot.
Yeah.
The economy and everything. And if we do that, I think we'll give it a facelift. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Kojo Preko Dankwa and Kwame Dazi have been my guests on this segment of the show. We're going to continue with more interesting